and welcome to my channel. I have a question for you. Do you drink water from plastic bottles? Because a recent research by Columbia University had a startling discovery. It's bad news, guys. So it was published in the National Academy of Scientists. What they did, they analyzed a regular gallon bottle of water you buy at a gas station or in the store, and now what they found is that on average, each single bottle contained 240,000 plastic particles. The worst part is that only 10% of it was microscopic particles, which you can see with the microscope, and 90% was nanoparticles that they had to use a special equipment to even be able to see. With the nanoparticles, what they do, they're so tiny, they can go through your intestine, go into the bloodstream, they can deposit themselves into your organs, like your heart, your liver, your brain even, and placenta, which is this poor little baby before it's even born, is already exposed to plastics. Why is it so bad? You might say, well, I buy BPA-free plastic. Okay, in 2011, they did a study where they found that absolutely all plastic leach into the water, okay? And if you heat it up, it accelerates the process. So I know when you go to the store, you buy this ice cold bottle, but unfortunately, it didn't get to the store ice cold. And sometimes that truck had to drive through Arizona, California, or Mexico, and it was heated up in 120-degree weather, and all this plastic, no matter what kind it is, will leach into the water. Now, another thing they found is that majority of plastics in the water bottle are not even from the water bottle. They come from filling up the water, the equipment they use to filter it, and the equipment they use to fill it up, okay? So you don't even know what kind of plastics you're getting, just saying. Now, all that said, the problem with plastic becomes so big that even China stopped receiving our trash with plastic. They said we can't handle it anymore, it's too much. 80% of the ocean pollution is plastic. What it does to fish, it affects their reproduction. What they found, it affects shrimp a lot. They can't multiply anymore. For bigger animals, it might fill up their stomach and they die from starvation because they can't get rid of it. It kills a lot of marine life, and it's very sad and doesn't have to happen, just so for our convenience. The worst thing that drives me crazy is those tiny bottles of water. They're like 2-sip bottles. Disgusting. Okay, you just basically straight up plastic. And knowing that we're mostly water, I see people walking around with a gallon of water, pounding gallons of plastic water into their body. What does it do to you? Well, the plastic, what we know, it's an endocrine disruptor. It creates a zinc deficiency. Zinc is so important in our immunity and producing hormones like testosterone. It helps our digestion. It's a very important mineral. And then it can damage your pancreas, it can cause cancer, but one thing that we know for sure, it's an endocrine disruptor. Endocrine system produces all your hormones, and plastics interrupt it. And the way they work, if you heard about xenoestrogens, they act like estrogens in your body, and your body gets super confused. And it's not just water, it's your utensils, it's your containers, it's the food you buy in the store, even salt that you buy. Sea salt is probably full of plastics because the ocean is full of plastics. And it turns alpha males into beta males, and it turns little boys into little girls. It's very disruptive to our bodies, and we don't even know half of what it does because it's not biodegradable. So what do we do? How do we get rid of it, right? What can we do besides, well, number one, we remove the trigger. We try to use as less plastic as possible. Bring your own bag to the store. It's not that complicated. I use spring water for drinking. I personally go to the spring. You can go to findaspring.com and find a spring near you and bring glass bottles and fill it up. I know it's a lot of work, or you can buy mountain spring water. Or you can invest in a really good filter and just drink tap water. Tap water has plastics in it too, but a really good filter will get rid of it, and I can make a special video on the water itself and the healthiest way to drink it. Kids and females are extremely sensitive to it, mostly sensitive kids. Make sure they never chew on a plastic toy, and they don't, you know, even when you sip a tea, like if you buy a tea bag, a lot of tea bags made out of plastic. Keep that in mind, okay? Just buy things bulk, keep it in the glass containers. Just be more mindful. It's gonna take time to get rid of plastics, and you can't, and even your toothbrush is made out of plastic, so you're gonna get some of it, and we're gonna help you remove it. So nobody really knows like the true way to get rid of plastics completely, plus we're always exposed to it, but one research showed that lactobacillus acidophilus, which is a bacteria in our gut, and very large amount of it is in yogurt, helps you eat that bacteria and actually eliminate it. So another bacteria, Bifidobacterium bifidus, is another one that does the same thing. So having healthy microbiome really helps. Now you have to remember, when you buy probiotics, you have to also have prebiotics, because probiotics are alive and they have to have food. If you eat crappy food, any probiotic you take is just going to die in your gut. It's not going to be alive. It's not going to be prolific. So a good prebiotics, actually, one of the best ones, if you cook sweet potato, put it in the fridge overnight, and then it's a perfect prebiotic. Apples are good prebiotics, and that's probably why apple a day keeps the doctor away. It keeps your probiotics alive. And eating lots of fiber helps to push some of the plastics out, because it can get stuck on your intestinal wall. So if you're pooping once a week, definitely address that. You have to poop twice a day, morning, evening, preferably at the same time. Make sure your elimination is working perfectly. And real quick, there's also things like clay, charcoal, and diatomaceous earth that helps it to, it binds to it. So you have to have some kind of binder, you have to have some kind of thing to push it out, like a fiber, and a good digestive tract, and then sulfur helps it, and there's some scientific research that says that if you combine vitamin C, cracked cell chlorella, and cilantro for about 42 days or more, you will get rid of some of the plastics as well. And just to keep in mind, everybody gets exposed to plastics, whether you drink plastic water or not. They analyze poop all over the world, and this poor scientist that analyzed poop from all over the world found that every single poop had plastic in it. Absolutely every single one. So keep your kids safe, be very mindful about plastics. Ciao.